As we stand on the threshold of Ramadan, a sacred month that transforms our hearts, minds, and souls, we are called to embrace its blessings with intention, discipline, and deep reflection. The first fast is more than just abstaining from food and drink. It is a spiritual journey that awakens our consciousness, strengthens our willpower, and brings us closer to Allah. Today, I want to guide you through 6 powerful steps that will prepare you to experience the first fast of Ramadan fully, turning it into a source of profound growth, inner peace, and lasting transformation. Each step is a key to unlocking the beauty of this blessed month, helping us approach our fast not as mere rituals, but as life-changing opportunities to purify our hearts and elevate our souls. The first step toward experiencing the first fast of Ramadan in its fullest beauty is cultivating intention. Before the dawn of fasting, before the first sip of water is withheld, before the day begins, the heart must be prepared. Intention, or niyyah, is the seed from which all acts of worship grow. Without it, even the most outwardly perfect fast may fall short of its purpose. In Islam, intention is not simply a formality. It is the guiding compass of our actions. It aligns our heart with the will of Allah and transforms our physical acts into spiritual nourishment. When we fast, it is easy to focus only on the abstinence from food and drink. Yet the real beauty of fasting lies in the internal journey, the purification of the heart, the strengthening of the soul, and the awakening of consciousness. To cultivate intention is to recognize that this fast is not a task to endure, but an opportunity to rise spiritually, emotionally, and morally. Preparation begins with self-reflection. Take a moment before Ramadan and ask yourself, why do I fast? Is it merely out of habit, or is it an act of devotion? Is my goal to impress others, or to sincerely seek Allah's pleasure? These questions may feel simple, yet they touch the deepest chambers of the soul. To prepare your heart for the fast, you must confront your own motives. Be honest with yourself. The first fast is not just the beginning of a month, it is a mirror reflecting your current spiritual state. By facing yourself honestly, you plant the seeds of sincere intention that will guide you through the highs and lows of fasting. Intentions are more than mental affirmations, they are commitments of the heart. When you wake before dawn, before the suhoor, whisper to yourself, I fast today for the sake of Allah, to seek His mercy, to cleanse my soul, and to draw closer to Him. Let these words resonate within, letting them shape the way you carry yourself throughout the day. With each action, remind yourself that every sip, every bite, and even every thought is now filtered through the lens of intention. This mindfulness turns ordinary moments into acts of devotion. The mundane becomes sacred, and fasting becomes not just abstinence but transformation. Cultivating intention also involves emotional preparation. Ramadan challenges us to confront our inner weaknesses, impatience, anger, and selfishness. By setting a clear, heartfelt intention, we equip ourselves with the awareness needed to navigate these challenges. The heart, prepared with sincere intent, is less likely to succumb to frustration when hunger strikes, or to irritation when challenges arise. Instead, every test becomes an opportunity to strengthen character, to rise above our baser instincts, and to align more closely with the principles of mercy, patience, and compassion. Your intention acts as both shield and compass, guiding you through moments of trial with grace and resilience. Another essential aspect of cultivating intention is connecting it with gratitude. Recognize that being able to fast is itself a blessing. Millions around the world face hunger daily without choice, yet you are given the chance to embrace hunger with purpose. By framing your fast with gratitude, the intention shifts from simply abstaining to actively embracing a spiritual gift. This gratitude nurtures humility, softens the heart, and opens doors to deeper reflection. Each pang of hunger becomes a reminder not of deprivation, but of divine mercy, and each challenge becomes a step towards spiritual elevation. Finally, preparing the heart through intention requires envisioning the ultimate goal, closeness to Allah. Ramadan is a journey toward purification, and intention is the vehicle that carries us. Imagine your heart as a garden. Without intention, the soil may remain barren, and the seeds of devotion may never flourish. With sincere, deliberate intention, however, every day of fasting becomes nourishment. Your prayers, your reflection, your acts of kindness, all are strengthened and aligned with divine purpose. Intention transforms fasting from a mere ritual into a profound opportunity for rebirth, self-improvement, and spiritual awakening. As you stand on the threshold of Ramadan and prepare for your first fast, remember the strength of your day begins in the heart. Cultivating intention is not a one-time act, but a continuous practice. Each morning, renew your purpose. Each moment, check your focus. Let every action reflect the sincere commitment that lies at the core of your fast. When intention is pure and the heart is fully engaged, the first fast of Ramadan becomes more than abstention. It becomes a journey of awakening, a step towards spiritual enlightenment, and a path to eternal reward. Through this deep preparation, through honest reflection, heartfelt commitment, and mindful gratitude, you create the foundation for a Ramadan that transforms not just your days, but your very soul. Cultivating intention is the gateway to all that is beautiful in fasting, self-discipline, spiritual growth, and divine closeness. Begin here with your heart aligned, and the rest of your journey will flow naturally from this sacred starting point. Absolutely. Full motivational expansion of your second keynote, fasting with awareness, understanding the true purpose of the fast for your speech. The second step in preparing for the first fast of Ramadan is learning to fast with awareness. While the act of fasting may seem simple at first glance, abstaining from food, drink, and other physical needs from dawn until sunset, its true power lies far beyond the physical discipline. To fast with awareness is to fast with the heart, the mind, and the soul fully engaged. It is to recognize that every moment of hunger and every pang of thirst is a spiritual opportunity, a chance to reconnect with Allah, and a pathway to self-purification. Without awareness, fasting can become routine, an act of mere habit, and its immense spiritual benefits may remain untapped. Fasting with awareness begins with understanding the wisdom behind it. Allah, in His infinite mercy, has prescribed fasting not as a burden, but as a means to elevate human consciousness. The Quran tells us that fasting is meant to develop taqwa, a heightened sense of God consciousness that guides our thoughts, words, and deeds. When you fast with awareness, you recognize that every moment is a chance to strengthen your relationship with Allah. Hunger is no longer simply a physical sensation. It becomes a reminder of your dependence on Him. Thirst becomes a mirror reflecting your gratitude for His countless blessings. Awareness transforms the ordinary experience of fasting into a profound spiritual journey. To cultivate awareness, you must pay attention to the inner and outer dimensions of fasting. Internally, notice how your thoughts, emotions, and impulses react throughout the day. Fasting exposes impatience, irritability, or selfishness. And these are precisely the areas where growth is possible. Instead of reacting unconsciously, take a moment to pause, reflect, and redirect your behavior. When anger rises, remember that fasting is a training for self-control. When desire tempts you, recall that true fulfillment comes from spiritual nourishment, not fleeting pleasures. Awareness means actively engaging with these challenges and using them as stepping stones toward moral and spiritual refinement. Externally, be mindful of your actions and speech. Fasting is not just about what you abstain from, it is about how you behave. Words spoken in haste, unkind thoughts, or careless deeds can diminish the reward of a fast. Fasting with awareness requires self-regulation in all aspects of life, creating harmony between the heart, mind, and body. Each act of patience, generosity, and compassion amplifies the spiritual impact of your fast. turning what could be ordinary behavior into acts of worship. Another key aspect of fasting with awareness is embracing reflection and gratitude. Every moment of hunger and thirst is an opportunity to empathize with those less fortunate, to reflect on the blessings we often take for granted, and to nurture a deep sense of humility. Awareness transforms scarcity into abundance, frustration into patience, and discomfort into spiritual strength. As you progress through the day, remind yourself that the fast is not merely abstention, it is a journey of awakening to the sacredness of life and the mercy of Allah. Fasting with awareness also invites you to align your physical needs with spiritual goals. When you eat before dawn and after sunset, do so mindfully. Nourish your body thoughtfully, in moderation, and with gratitude. The way you treat your body outside the fasting hours reflects the awareness you cultivate during the fast itself. Awareness bridges the gap between spiritual devotion and daily living, creating a holistic approach that nourishes both the soul and the body. Finally, fasting with awareness requires intentional reflection on its purpose. This fast is not simply about enduring hunger for a day. It is a sacred discipline that molds character, purifies the soul, and prepares the heart for divine closeness. Each day of Ramadan is a stepping stone towards self-improvement, a training ground for patience, empathy, and devotion. By maintaining awareness, you unlock the transformative potential of fasting, turning it from an obligation into a powerful tool for personal and spiritual growth. When you fast with awareness, every sensation, every thought, and every action becomes an act of worship. The fast ceases to be a mere routine. It becomes a sacred practice of consciousness, discipline, and devotion. Hunger teaches gratitude. Thirst teaches dependence on Allah. Restraint teaches patience. Every challenge becomes a lesson, and every triumph becomes a source of spiritual joy. Awareness allows you to experience the fast as it was intended, an immersive, life-changing journey that elevates both heart and soul. As you approach the first fast of Ramadan, commit yourself not just to abstaining, but to being fully present in every moment. Observe your mind, regulate your actions, and nurture a heart that is conscious of Allah's presence at all times. Awareness turns the ordinary into extraordinary and transforms the first fast from a simple obligation into a profound awakening. This mindful practice will carry you through the entire month, deepening your connection with Allah, purifying your soul, and awakening a spiritual sensitivity that will extend far beyond Ramadan itself. Absolutely. Here's a full motivational expansion of your third keynote, strengthening discipline, building physical and mental resilience. For your speech, the third step in preparing for the first fast of Ramadan is strengthening discipline. Discipline is the backbone of fasting. It is what transforms hunger into spiritual growth, thirst into mindfulness, and daily routines into acts of worship. Without discipline, even the best intentions and highest awareness may falter when faced with the natural challenges of fasting. To fast successfully, we must cultivate resilience not only in the body but also in the mind. Discipline is the bridge that connects intention with action, awareness with practice, and desire with devotion. It is the silent force that allows the fast to transcend physical abstinence and become a transformative spiritual journey. Strengthening discipline begins with acknowledging the challenges of fasting. The human body is naturally inclined toward comfort and immediate satisfaction. Hunger, thirst, fatigue, and irritability are real obstacles that test our patience and resolve. Recognizing these challenges does not make you weak, it makes you aware. True discipline is not about ignoring discomfort, it is about confronting it with courage, self-control, and unwavering purpose. Every pang of hunger is a test, every moment of fatigue is a reminder, and every impulse to give in is an opportunity to grow stronger. The more consciously you embrace these trials, the more resilient your body, mind, and soul become. Discipline requires consistency. One cannot hope to develop mental and physical resilience overnight. Preparing for the first fast of Ramadan is an exercise in gradual strengthening. Adjusting your daily routines before the month begins, such as regulating sleep, planning meals and company, and controlling distractions, creates a foundation for endurance. Training your body to wake early for suhoor, to maintain energy throughout the day, and to engage in prayer and reflection requires preparation and consistency. The mind, too, must be trained to stay focused on spiritual goals rather than momentary discomfort. Each small act of self-control, practiced consistently, builds the resilience that allows the fast to be experienced fully and meaningfully. Mental resilience is just as critical as physical endurance. Fasting challenges the mind to rise above cravings, impatience, and emotional reactions. Strengthening discipline means developing a mindset that embraces patience and mindfulness. When irritability or fatigue arises, respond with self-awareness and composure. Use these moments as opportunities to cultivate inner strength, rather than as excuses to falter. Each challenge is a lesson in fortitude, shaping your character and deepening your spiritual capacity. The fast becomes a mirror, reflecting both weaknesses and potential, inviting you to refine your behavior and purify your intentions. Discipline also manifests through conscious control of desires. Ramadan teaches us that mastery over physical impulses strengthens the soul. Every act of restraint, resisting overeating, controlling speech, moderating anger, reinforces discipline and trains the mind to prioritize spiritual fulfillment over fleeting pleasures. The first fast serves as an initiation into this practice. By approaching it with intention and awareness, you begin to exercise self-mastery that extends far beyond food and drink. Discipline cultivated during fasting carries into daily life, shaping character, building patience, and fostering integrity. Another aspect of discipline is planning and preparation. A disciplined fast is not haphazard, it is intentional. Preparing nutritious meals for suhoor and iftar, scheduling prayers, and organizing your day to maintain energy and focus are all acts of discipline. Thoughtful preparation minimizes unnecessary struggles and maximizes spiritual engagement. When the body is cared for and the mind is focused, the heart is free to connect with Allah, and the fast becomes a profound tool for personal growth rather than a source of exhaustion. Discipline is also closely tied to resilience in the face of temptation. The world constantly tests our self-control through distractions, indulgences, and ease. Fasting trains us to resist these temptations with patience and fortitude. The ability to say no to immediate gratification strengthens character and deepens spiritual awareness. Each day of fasting is a practice in restraint, each moment of temptation an opportunity to exercise mastery over impulses, and each act of self-discipline a step towards spiritual elevation. Ultimately, strengthening discipline allows fasting to fulfill its highest purpose, transforming the ordinary into extraordinary. Hunger becomes a teacher, thirst becomes a guide, and restraint becomes a pathway to spiritual awakening. Discipline empowers you to experience fasting not as deprivation, but as freedom. The freedom to control the self, to purify the heart, and to rise closer to Allah. When intention, awareness, and discipline converge, the first fast becomes a moment of triumph, a declaration of resilience, and a powerful foundation for the spiritual journey of Ramadan. As you approach the first fast, remember that discipline is not punishment, it is empowerment. Each effort you make to strengthen your body, train your mind, and cultivate resilience enhances your capacity to benefit from the fast. The physical hunger and thirst are temporary, but the discipline you build, the resilience you gain, and the spiritual growth you achieve last far beyond the month. By strengthening discipline, you equip yourself to not only endure the fast, but to embrace it fully, allowing Ramadan to reshape your life from within. The fourth step in preparing for the first fast of Ramadan is nourishing the soul. While fasting primarily involves abstaining from food and drink, its true essence lies in feeding the spirit. Without a conscious effort to nurture the soul, the fast may remain a physical exercise rather than a transformative spiritual journey. Ramadan is the time to reconnect deeply with Allah, to strengthen our bond with His words, and to make prayer a source of guidance, comfort, and renewal. Just as the body requires nourishment to function, the heart requires spiritual sustenance to thrive, and this nourishment comes from the Quran and sincere worship. Nourishing the soul begins with intentional engagement with the Quran. The Quran is not merely a book to recite, it is a living guide that speaks to the heart, mind, and conscience. Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed, making it a unique opportunity to immerse ourselves in its guidance and mercy. Approach the Quran with presence, not habit. Read slowly, reflect on the meaning, and let the words penetrate your heart. Allow the verses to challenge, inspire, and transform you. Even a few meaningful verses each day, when pondered deeply, can uplift the spirit, strengthen faith, and provide clarity in moments of doubt or confusion. The first fast is the perfect time to set a rhythm of reflection, allowing the Quran to illuminate every moment of the day. Prayer is the second pillar of nourishing the soul. Salah is more than ritual. It is a conversation with Allah, a chance to seek guidance, express gratitude, and ask for strength to remain steadfast. During fasting, prayer becomes even more powerful because the heart is already attuned to discipline, reflection, and humility. Deepen your connection with prayer by being fully present in each movement, each recitation, and each pause. Let the mind quiet, the heart open, and the soul feel the closeness of Allah. The first fast teaches patience and resilience, and prayer channels these experiences into spiritual growth, turning everyday struggles into opportunities for divine connection. Beyond formal prayer and Quranic recitation, nourishing the soul also involves remembrance of Allah in everyday moments. Engage in dhikr, praising Allah silently or aloud, reflecting on His attributes and seeking His guidance. Small acts of remembrance throughout the day, during work, study, or household chores, create a continuous thread of spirituality, reinforcing the awareness cultivated in the earlier steps. Every mindful breath, every intentional pause, and every reflective thought becomes a source of nourishment for the soul, keeping the heart aligned with divine purpose. Nourishing the soul also means cultivating humility and receptivity. Fasting is not just an exercise in self-restraint, it is an invitation to cleanse the heart of arrogance, pride, and worldly attachment. As you read the Quran, pray sincerely and engage in reflection. Allow the words and rituals to penetrate deeply. Listen with humility, seek guidance earnestly, and embrace the lessons of patience, compassion, and gratitude. The soul flourishes when it is open, receptive, and willing to transform, and Ramadan provides the ideal environment for this inner awakening. Another important aspect of soul nourishment is integrating spiritual practice into daily life. Let the insights from prayer and Quranic reflection inform your actions, interactions, and intentions. Show kindness, extend mercy, and practice generosity. When the soul is nourished, it naturally radiates outward, impacting not only your inner state, but also the lives of those around you. The first fast becomes a platform to translate spiritual reflection into practical living, connecting devotion with action and intention with impact. Finally, nourishing the soul during the first fast strengthens resilience for the entire month. By cultivating a deep connection with the Quran and prayer, the heart is fortified against distractions, weariness, and temptation. The fast becomes more than abstinence. It becomes a source of spiritual energy that sustains and uplifts. Hunger and thirst are temporary, but the soul enriched by the words of Allah and the sincerity of prayer experiences lasting transformation. Nourishing the soul allows you to carry the spiritual momentum of the first fast throughout Ramadan, making every subsequent day richer, more intentional, and more aligned with divine purpose. As you prepare for the first fast, remember that true fasting is as much about the heart as it is about the body. Nourish your soul daily through mindful engagement with the Quran, sincere prayer, and conscious remembrance of Allah. Let these practices infuse your fasting with meaning, purpose, and spiritual vitality. When the soul is nourished, fasting becomes an instrument of transformation, a pathway to divine closeness, and a source of profound inner peace. This is the essence of Ramadan, a month where the body abstains, the mind reflects, and the soul flourishes in the light of Allah's mercy and guidance. Absolutely. Here's a full, motivational expansion of your fifth keynote, practicing compassion, transforming empathy into action. For your speech. The fifth step in preparing for the first fast of Ramadan is practicing compassion. Fasting is not only a personal journey of discipline and devotion, it is also a profound invitation to connect with the struggles and needs of others. Ramadan teaches us that spiritual growth is inseparable from empathy, kindness, and service. When we experience hunger and thirst firsthand, when we pause and restrain ourselves from worldly comforts, our hearts are naturally open to the suffering of those less fortunate. Compassion transforms fasting from an individual act into a force that impacts the wider world, allowing our devotion to ripple outward in meaningful ways. Practicing compassion begins with awareness. During the fast, every pang of hunger is a reminder of the millions who face hunger daily, not by choice, but by circumstance. Every moment of thirst calls attention to those who struggle for clean water. Every limitation in our lives reflects the hardships of the vulnerable and the marginalized. By consciously connecting our fasting experience to the lives of others, empathy is cultivated and the heart softens. Compassion is the bridge between spiritual discipline and social responsibility, turning personal sacrifice into meaningful concern for the well-being of others. Fasting provides a unique opportunity to translate empathy into action. Ramadan encourages acts of generosity, whether through sadaqah, feeding the hungry, or assisting those in need. Every act of giving becomes more profound because it is rooted in first-hand understanding. When we feel the pangs of hunger ourselves, when we endure thirst with patience, the value of mercy and kindness becomes tangible. Compassion practiced in this way is not abstract, it is lived, heartfelt, and transformative. The first fast is a perfect starting point to consciously integrate acts of service into our daily routine, making empathy a natural extension of devotion. True compassion also extends to the people around us. Fasting teaches patience with those who irritate us, tolerance toward those with different views, and kindness even in moments of frustration. When we practice mindfulness during fasting, we recognize that every interaction is an opportunity to embody mercy, understanding, and generosity. Compassion is not limited to grand gestures. It flourishes in small acts of patience, in gentle words, and in simple attentiveness to others' needs. The fast becomes a training ground for moral excellence, refining the character and softening the heart. Compassion also requires intentional reflection. Take time during the first fast to consider how your actions affect others. Reflect on those who are struggling physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Use this reflection to guide your deeds, shaping both your private conduct and your social interactions. By intentionally linking fasting with concern for others, we cultivate a sense of solidarity, humility, and responsibility. The fast ceases to be merely an individual experience and becomes a shared journey of empathy and moral growth. Another essential aspect of compassion is gratitude expressed through generosity. Recognizing the blessings we enjoy, food, water, shelter, health, naturally inspires a desire to share. Gratitude and compassion reinforce each other. Awareness of our own abundance encourages us to alleviate the hardships of others, while acts of giving deepen our appreciation for the mercy of Allah in our own lives. This cycle of gratitude and generosity transforms fasting into an outward-looking practice where spiritual growth is measured not only by inner reflection, but also by positive impact on the lives of others. Finally, practicing compassion during the first fast lays the foundation for a Ramadan that is spiritually, morally, and socially transformative. By linking our personal experience of hunger and restraint with empathy, generosity, and kindness, we elevate the fast from mere ritual to a holistic practice of worship. Compassion ensures that fasting is not self-centered but reaches beyond ourselves, touching hearts, alleviating suffering, and reinforcing the values of justice, mercy, and service that lie at the heart of Islam. As you approach the first fast, embrace compassion as an essential element of your journey. Let the awareness of your own hunger and restraint open your heart to the needs of others. Transform empathy into action through generosity, patience, and kindness. When compassion becomes an integral part of fasting, the fast is no longer just a personal act. It becomes a transformative experience that uplifts the soul, strengthens communities, and embodies the true spirit of Ramadan. Perfect. Here's a full motivational expansion of your sixth keynote, Embracing Gratitude, Carrying Ramadan's Lessons Beyond the Month for your speech. The sixth and final step in preparing for the first fast of Ramadan is embracing gratitude. Gratitude is the crown jewel of fasting. It transforms simple abstinence into profound spiritual awareness and allows the lessons of Ramadan to extend far beyond a single month. When we fast, we experience hunger, thirst, fatigue, and sometimes discomfort. These sensations, when approached with mindfulness, serve as powerful reminders of the countless blessings that are often taken for granted. Embracing gratitude shifts the focus from what we lack to what we possess, deepening our connection with Allah and enriching every aspect of our lives. Gratitude begins with awareness. Each time we abstain from food and drink, our senses sharpen and our hearts awaken to the bounty that surrounds us. The simple act of drinking water, tasting a meal, or feeling the comfort of a home becomes a moment of reflection and thankfulness. Gratitude turns ordinary experiences into sacred opportunities, transforming daily life into a continuous act of worship. The first fast of Ramadan provides a unique chance to cultivate this awareness intentionally, allowing every sensation and every act of restraint to reinforce appreciation for Allah's mercy and provision. Fasting teaches that blessings are often hidden in plain sight. It reminds us that what we routinely enjoy, food, water, health, shelter, family, and safety, is not guaranteed. Many people live without these essentials, yet we often overlook them. By embracing gratitude during the fast, we begin to see life through a lens of appreciation rather than entitlement. Gratitude nurtures humility, softens the heart, and strengthens our moral and spiritual compass. It encourages us to use our blessings wisely, to share generously, and to live with intention and purpose. Gratitude is not merely a feeling, it is a practice. During the fast, cultivate it actively by reflecting on the countless ways Allah provides for us. Begin and end each day with acknowledgement of His mercy, thanking Him for both the visible and invisible blessings. Extend gratitude beyond mere words by turning it into action, by helping others, performing acts of kindness, or contributing to the well-being of those in need. This transforms gratitude from a passive recognition into a dynamic force that shapes behavior and enhances spiritual growth. One of the most powerful aspects of embracing gratitude is its ability to sustain the lessons of Ramadan beyond the month itself. Too often, the spiritual intensity of Ramadan fades when daily routines resume. By intentionally cultivating gratitude during the first fast and throughout the month, we build habits that extend into the rest of the year. Gratitude becomes a lens through which we perceive the world, a mindset that nurtures contentment, patience, and joy even in challenging circumstances. It allows us to carry the essence of Ramadan, mindfulness, reflection, compassion, and devotion, into everyday life, ensuring that the fast is not just a ritual but a catalyst for lasting transformation. Gratitude also strengthens resilience. When we recognize the abundance in our lives, the difficulties we face become easier to bear. The fast itself becomes a teacher, showing that challenges can be opportunities for growth and that restraint can be a source of inner freedom. Gratitude reinforces discipline, enhances awareness, and deepens compassion, creating a holistic spiritual practice that nourishes the body, mind, and soul simultaneously. Finally, embracing gratitude connects us to the ultimate purpose of Ramadan, drawing closer to Allah. Every act of appreciation, every moment of reflection, and every expression of thankfulness serves to align the heart with divine wisdom and mercy. Gratitude transforms fasting from a temporary obligation into a lasting spiritual habit. It ensures that the lessons learned, the empathy cultivated, and the discipline practiced are not confined to the holy month, but resonate in all aspects of life. As you prepare for the first fast of Ramadan, remember that gratitude is both the foundation and the culmination of spiritual growth. Let each pang of hunger remind you of the blessings you enjoy. Let each act of restraint deepen your appreciation for Allah's mercy. And let every moment of reflection guide your heart toward continuous thankfulness. By embracing gratitude, the first fast becomes more than a day of abstention. It becomes a gateway to spiritual fulfillment, a source of joy, and a lifelong practice that carries the blessings of Ramadan into every day of your life.